Alright, so I'm going to show you how I accomplish all of my tasks consistently every single day. And no, it's not some kind of Notion template or anything like that. For this method, all you're going to need is 2 books, okay? The first one, I'm going to call the big book. You're going to want something like an A4 size book, because we're going to use this book to basically write down your weekly goals. Okay, so this might take a bit more space, so you're going to want a bigger book. Now, the second book can be a bit smaller, so we can call this a small book. It can be a small notepad, even a piece of paper. So ideally we want it to be small so we can carry it around with us, so that we can constantly refer back to it throughout the day. And we're going to use a small book to write down our daily goals that make up part of the weekly goals that we wrote on the bigger book. Now, you can also include other random small things you want to accomplish during your day as well in the small book. So, it can be things like, for example, taking out the trash, doing your laundry, cleaning your room. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that you want to get done during the day, put it in there, and it's just something that easy that you can physically refer to without having to open up your phone or your computer. You can just check on the book and you can mark it off when you finish it. Now, the small book is honestly great, and even just using the small book is going to be so much more beneficial for you, and you're going to find yourself so much more productive than you were before you implemented this method. Now, something amazing happens in your brain when you physically write down your goals compared to typing it up on your phone or on your laptop. What happens is when you write down these goals physically on a piece of paper, putting pen to paper, what happens is your brain activates your reticular activating system. Now, what that system does is basically it puts your goals and objectives into the back of your mind, into your subconscious, and it helps you to prioritize and filter through information that more align with your goals. So by writing down your goals, you are literally putting the goal into the back of your mind, into your subconscious brain, and you will quite literally subconsciously you'll move in a way that brings you closer to certain opportunities and things that bring you more aligned with achieving those objectives. It's why things like manifestation works to a certain degree. Manifestation plus extreme action will often result in you achieving what you want to achieve. This is a very similar way of how we're going to use this method to achieve our goals by physically writing it down. Now, I've shown you roughly how this is going to work. Now let me show you exactly how I use this system that lets me dominate every single day and accomplish every single task and objective that I set out to achieve. So first of all, on the big book, I have a rough template that I use every single week. It basically outlines the way I write down my goals. I will include a picture of a close-up on the screen so you can see while I'm explaining this, right? So this is the general template that I use on my big book every single week to plan my objectives. I have separate categories. For example, under my gym and fitness, I've listed different muscle groups that I want to train, and I included little tick boxes to visualize how often I plan on training them. Now for me personally, fitness, YouTube, and work are the main categories that I'm currently focused on. You want to pick between 2 to 3 categories at a time. Now, work is my 9-to-5 corporate job, and I have weekly objectives even for my actual job and career. And of course there's YouTube, which is a recent project of mine, and even for this I set actual tasks to complete so that my results are measurable and work actually gets done. Now the system, it's quite reliant on having discipline. It's a list of non-negotiables that I need to accomplish, not things that I will do if I feel like doing it. But the way it's laid out, it gamifies the whole experience. So for example, with my tick boxes, when you tick something off once you finish it, I want you to tick it off in a different color. So for example, if you write down all your objectives in blue, I want you to use a different color like red to mark it off. Now, the beauty of having these tick boxes is that every time you accomplish something and you tick it off, You tick it and you get a little bit of a dopamine hit every single time. And after a while, it becomes a learned habit that you chase. And this is a good kind of dopamine, not the kind of dopamine that you get by mindlessly doom scrolling on your phone. This is a dopamine hit you get for achieving things in your life. So, doing that activates your dopamine. Now, by using a different color, it sort of gives you a signal to your brain that you've actually achieved something, and the tick is something that you've earned. The color differentiates the goal, or differentiates writing down the goal versus actually achieving the goal. It's two different things. So the color helps your brain to separate the two. Okay, so that was the big book. Now for the small book. Now, the small book is for people like me who lose focus of the big goals within a day or two of starting a new week. I just completely lose track and I forget what I set out to achieve. Now you can use a small book to basically fix this. And if you're someone like me, I want you to basically use a small book and write down your daily goals that go towards accomplishing the big goals in your big book, right? So small daily goals, it could be things like training back and biceps at the gym. It can be finishing off that assignment. I want you to make a drop-down list on your small book and just tick it off as you go. And ideally, I want you to write down these goals in the order you want to achieve them because it removes the friction. So for example, if you're already going to be, let's say for example, in your kitchen and you're going to make a protein shake, write down, okay, make a protein shake, and then you might be near your laundry room, do my laundry. So you're sort of moving in a way that makes things really efficient and there's less friction, so you're more likely to actually get it done. And again, the same method as the big book, you're ticking things off. You're getting shots of dopamine throughout the day for doing the good habits. Try to write these goals down in the ideal order that you want to accomplish them as well. So for example, if you're planning on going to gym at nighttime, then have this towards the bottom of your list. It could be the last thing you do before you finish the day. Now, I want you to use this method every single day on your small book. And ideally, you want to write down the goals the night before. Now, I guarantee if you haven't been doing these last couple of steps I've gone through, your productivity is about to skyrocket. Alright boys, so I'm keeping this video nice and sweet. There's no point of me yapping on. Give this a try. If you want to look back at the templates that I use for these books, rewind back, take a look, and try and implement this today, and let me know how you go. Let me know what your results are. If you want to see more videos from a small YouTuber who likes to give action